Hello everyone, welcome to this small house bar that I put together. I will wait for some more people to join in and then I will quickly introduce myself and then we'll get going to make our own drinks. So I'll show you what I have got together here. Obviously this is not the bar where I work in, so I put together all the things that I have at my home to make sure that I show you that how you all can set up a home bar. So I'll talk to you about everything a little later. So let's wait for some more people to join in our live feed and then we'll start going with that same. I hope you all are doing good. If you have some questions, meanwhile, you can always put it across. I'll try to add them while it is, I'm doing my live feed. My wife is holding the camera, so she'll tell me all the questions and everything, so she'll let me know what you all like ask for the same. If you are having some ingredients with you right now, or if you have some alcohol, you can always put me across that, okay, I have this, what can I do? So I'll think some cocktail for you and I'll try to help you out with the same. Can you get the camera? Perfect. So let's start. So today the whole idea is that we do a small talk about how to set up a home bar and how you can do cocktails at home. My name is Nitin Tewari, as written here, very simple, easy, and I'm also known as Mr. Bartender. There's a small spelling mistake that you will see here. It's an intentional spelling mistake. I started as bartender nearly around 16 years. And I've been bartending in some of the best cocktail bars across the country. And then I was instrumental in setting up some of the best cocktail bars in the country. To name few, for example, Egg Bar, which is the Defense Colony in Delhi. Then Mask in Bombay, Toast and Tonic Bangalore, Telejo London, Rue San Francisco, and the list goes on. I did around 15, 16 projects as a consultant, and I decided to open my own. And when I decided to open my own, it was called as Together because it was a place where a chef and a bartender, which was me, we both came together and opened a place where we tried to showcase the best that we can do. The idea is that the best food, the best drinks, and the best service comes together in one place, and that's how Together was born. Now, today in this session, we'll talk about something very simple, very easy. Unfortunately, we all are stuck in our houses and we don't have access to go to some good bars or good places to go and drink. But we do have some things at our home which you can turn into drinks. And the idea is that let's take them and how to convert them into cocktails is the aim that we have in this session. You need some equipments and everything, but I'll try to tell you what are the replacements for the same and how you can easily find things lying in your house which you can turn into drinks. And there are a lot of drinks which don't even require equipments. There are a lot of stories and everything that goes behind bartending, behind cocktails. I will try to share that as well while I'm going through. So first, what are the equipments? So what is the first equipment that you all see while you go to a bar or you see a bartender? The movie called Cocktails came into this world and Tom Cruise was seen flaring bottles. And there's one thing that came really high and the James Bond said it, I want my martini shaken, not stirred. And that's a shaker. Okay. Normally this is a part of every single bar, every single bartender has it, but you will not have it. Okay. I'm sure that a lot of people who are watching, you will not get an opportunity to actually have a shaker at home. Now, how to find a replacement for it is very simple. I'm sure you all have a jam jar or any kind of jar that is lying in your house. This is perfect for the use. Or even a coffee shaker, Nescafe shaker that you have in the house, you can just use that and turn it into a cocktail shaker. Anything which has a big mouth, that is what you're looking for. That is the main purpose. Because it does the same thing. You can close the lid, shake it, and use the shaker. So you can either use this, which is a professional bartender. So maybe a few days down the line when everything is normal, buy one from online. But meanwhile, use your own mason jars to make it, shake your own martinis or shake your own cosmopolitans or whatever you like. Then comes a bar spoon. Bar spoons are the long spoons. You can use this or you can use any spoons that is lying in your house. The idea is very simple, to stir anything. You can use any other spoon lying in your house, whatever you have. Apart from them, all the other stuff, when I'm using it, I'll tell you how you can replace them using a very simple thing available at home. This is an important thing, which is the PEC measure. You can replace this with any shot glass lying at home, or anything that can measure 30 ml or 60 ml, you can use it. Why this is important? It is important because you want to recreate the same drink again later on. You can only recreate something if you have the right specs of it, and that's the reason this is very important for it. Perfect. Now, when you are making drinks, especially in India, most of the drinks that you consume are either sweet or sour style drinks, sweet and sour combination. So drinks like whiskey sour are very popular. Mojito, which is a very popular drink. Sometimes people call it a mojito, most of the time people call it mojito. Okay, I'll talk about it a little later. But these drinks are very popular. The reason is they're sweet citrus combination. Now, I keep telling people that it is not about what people love eating or what people love drinking. It is about the nature that we are in, the surroundings we are in. India as a country, the weather is very hot and humid, and hence we all love drinking something which is hydrating to us. When we go out, we lose a lot of sweat and we get, we start dehydrating. So what we love drinking is something like Nibu Pani. That's why Nibu Pani sales are really high, skyrocketed during the time of summers. So if you try to take a Nibu Pani and add things to it, so I normally relate a mojito to a Nibu Pani as well. A lot of time I ask my bartenders to fix me a perfect Nibu Pani, because if they can do that, they can do a good cocktail as well. So Nibu Pani is what? Lime, sugar and water. Now similarly, lime, sugar, soda and rum put together with mint makes a mojito. So that's how a cocktail is also done. A daiquiri is same. Rum, lime and sugar shaken with ice makes a daiquiri. Similarly, a margarita is what? Margarita is tequila, little of contru, which is the orange liqueur, put together with lime and sugar comes from the contru, and that's a margarita. So a lot of cocktails are actually combination of sweet and sour put together. Now, how to do sweet and sour? You can pick up anything. The easiest available is Nimbu. Always use the local available thing. I always use Nibu for my cocktails because first, it is cheap. If you try to use imported lemons and limes, they are very expensive. Nibu is cheap, is local, is fresh and is very juicy as well. So it's perfect for your cocktails. So have some Nibu handy with you. I'm sure you can find it from a local sabji wala. Buy them, keep it with you. They are always used in drinks. Even a small gin and tonic or a vodka soda, small squeeze of lemon makes it perfect. In fact, drinks like whiskey soda, there's a squeeze of lime, try it. You will be amazed how beautiful that can taste. That is great. Then comes the sugar syrup. Now, a lot of people think that sugar syrup is a very complicated thing. No, it is just sugar turned into a syrup. Now, sugar can be normal sugar, which is what you find. You just have to take any jar, like a mixing jar. So I have like a half bowl of sugar. I'm going to add that into the jar. And what I'm going to do, I have some lukewarm water. Now, I'm going to measure it like one fill thing. The idea is a little bit more. To make a ratio of 1:1. Now 1:1 means 1 part of sugar and 1 part of water. So as much sugar, same amount of water to add to it. And then I'll dissolve it. You can boil it, but what will it do is when you boil it like this, it will start making it into a chashni format. It will cook the sugar, it will make it a little golden color, which you really don't want for a cocktail to happen. By this, what will happen, sugar will dissolve in some time. It will take a little bit more effort, but the color of the sugar syrup will be crystal clear and it will still have the sweetness that you need. So it's the best way to do a sugar syrup. Take warm water, add it to sugar and just stir it. So if you see, now everything else is dissolved. It just takes less than a minute. Now, a lot of times people actually go out and buy this. I really don't understand why you need to buy sugar syrup when you can make it so easily. So, almost. I love my sugar. I'll taste it. Yes, it tastes sweet. Perfect. So, the sugar syrup is ready. This ball can go because I don't need it anymore. So, your sugar syrup is ready. Your citrus part, your Nibu is ready. Now, with just these two ingredients, you can make a lot of cocktails using different kind of spirit. For example, as I said, with rum, you can make a daiquiri. With tequila, with this and contru, you can make a margarita and the list can go on. You can make a Collins, gin, lime, sugar, ice and soda makes a cocktail. So there are a lot of cocktails that can be just done with a lemon and a sugar put together. But if you have some more ingredients like cucumber, orange, mint, basil, coriander, you can add more and more flavors to it. Perfect. While this is ready, I'll talk a little bit about what are cocktails and how the history of cocktails came into existence. Now, cocktails are mixed drinks, drinks in which different flavors comes together. Now, in cocktails, there are many different styles of drinks. Like for example, a very popular drink is old fashioned, then there is a screwdriver, there is a mojito, there is a margarita and everything. They are all different styles, but there are families of drinks as well. Like there is a style of family called Collins, there is a family which is called sours, which is a whiskey sour style of drink. Similarly, you can also do a rum sour, you can do a tequila sour, you can do many different sours just by replacing the spirit. But every cocktail has its own identity. They were all created in a particular time, especially the classic cocktails. These are all cocktails were created many years back, and their recipes were written down by someone in a book, and they have been followed in the same style for many years now. Like when I started studying as a bartender, I got a book and I saw this recipe and I have been following it. So that's what is called a classic cocktail. Like for example, let's pick up a dish like a butter chicken. Butter chicken is a classic dish, but now if you go forward, there might be a lot of variations to butter chicken across different cities, across different restaurants and everything. So there's their own take on butter chicken, but the authentic recipes lies with someone. Similarly, an old fashioned has a signature recipe, and a lot of people do their own twist. Like an old fashioned with a coffee twist, old fashioned with a spice twist, you can do a lot of different variations. Now, there's a drink called mojito. Now, it's a classic drink. Do you know why mojito is called mojito? We put a story out. So, every classic cocktail, if you try to do a small research about it, you will be surprised that every cocktail has a story behind it. And a lot of time I tell people that people ask me why cocktail is called cocktail. I said, don't read tale, T-A-I-L-S, as tale, but read as tale, the story, T-A-L-E-S. Because every cocktail which is shaken behind a bar has a tale to tell. Mojito, the story of it goes many years back. There was a captain called Captain Drake, and he was based out of Cuba, and he used to go out for ship voyage, and he was the main leader of the ship. He had a lot of soldiers who was to work under him, and when there is army involved, there is always rum involved. So they used to take a lot of drums of rum with them, and while in the sea, they used to drink a lot of rum. That was their only entertainment. While they are in the sea, wife of Captain Drake also used to give him little dehydrated lemons and dehydrated mint, because at that time there used to be no fridges in ships specifically. The only way of preserving something was dehydrating it, like how we do it in our home as well, like making things which are dehydrated fruits and everything. Now, perfect. So he had dehydrated mint, dehydrated lemon. Why she used to give it? Because when you are seasick, the only thing that make you feel better is eating a slice of lemon or eating mint leaves. That's the best way to get rid of seasickness. So the soldiers realized that he has dried mint and dried lemon, so they used to just fake their sickness, go to the Captain Drake and ask for these things. Get these, mix it with rum and make a drink and drink that every day. And that was called as El Drak, to Drak, Da Drak, and that was the idea. When this drink reached the shores, they started making with fresh ingredients, which was fresh mint, fresh lemon, good rum and lots of ice, because they had ice on the shores. And that drink later on somehow got the name of mojito. Now a lot of people think why mojito? Because mojito comes from a word called mojo. Mojo in Spanish means cast or spell. So when you drink mojito, the reaction that everyone has is like, oh, it is magical. People used to say that when you drink mojito, it just brings magic to your body, it just energizes you. And that's how the word mojito came into it. It's a Spanish word, that's why J is not pronounced as J, it's pronounced H, that's why it's called mojito, not mojito. So a lot of classic cocktails like that has a story. There's a very popular story called Screwdriver. So Screwdriver is a drink which was made using vodka and orange juice. So it was not actually made by a bartender, it was made by an engineer a mechanic who used to work based from his house. So every day in the evening time, he used to call his wife and say like, honey, get me a drink. And she used to take a glass, like a tall glass, like this, and put vodka and orange juice and give it to him. And what used to happen, because orange juice is heavy, it used to mix very easily and he used to enjoy it. One day, what happened? She put ice and the baby started crying. The ice got melted. When she came back, she saw there was water, and she said, "Oh, I put vodka." She put orange juice, and then realized, "Oh no, I didn't put vodka." So she put vodka from top and took the drink. And what was happening? The vodka was floating on the top. The person tasted it, and she said, like, "Oh, this is too strong." She said, "Oh, I forget to stir it." So he looked around, and what he saw a screwdriver, stirred it, and he realized that that's the name of the drink, and the drink was called a screwdriver. The same drink became quite popular across the globe because anything citrus with vodka comes out really, really good. It went to a bar in a seaside area. So there was a very big competition, a surfing competition was happening, and a bartender was making a drink. A guy came up, his name was Harvey. He sat down on the bar and he was looking very sad. The reason of his sadness was he lost the competition. He was competing for winning the competition, but he lost it. So he came to the bar, he said, like, "Get me a screwdriver." The bartender said, "Okay, sir." He made a vodka orange juice with ice, gave it to him. Super cool. So the next drink, he wanted to make him happy. So what he did is, before he ordered, he made a vodka orange juice screwdriver and kept it ready. And just before he was about to order, he picked up the glass, and the guest said, Harvey said, "No, I don't want screwdriver, get me something else." Now this bartender was confused at what to do. So he said, "Can I do something to this drink?" So what he did, he picked up a long bottle from the bar, and that bottle was called Galliano, it's the Italian liqueur. He floated that on the top and gave it to the Harvey. Harvey had it, it was beautiful because it had a nice herbal and vanilla notes on the top, and then vodka orange juice later. He enjoyed it. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he was drunk. While he was walking back, he was banging his head on the walls nearby because he was too drunk. He was not able to walk straight. And the bartender looked at him, "Hey, see, Harvey, the wall banger." And another classic cocktail was born. So every cocktail that you know in the current times, which are classics, have a story behind it. So whenever you're going out, these are small things that will help you a lot to have an icebreaker with your friends, to have a small good house party. So spend this time to learn about it. Today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some drinks for you. So I have tried for 2-3 drinks. The idea is that you can learn a lot from this and make a lot of twist to these drinks in your house. Now, first drink that I'm going to do is a mojito, as I said, which is a drink. Now, one thing that I wanted to share in a mojito is mint. Okay. Now, I went out around, I think, a week back. I didn't had obviously not been out because of the self-isolation that I've been in. So I said, like, how to keep mint good. And in our bar, we get mint and we keep it safe. So I wanted to share that how to do it. A lot of people have asked me. So this tiffin box is the solution to it. You need to find a box which is the airtight box. And how to do it is, when you buy mint from the market, the first thing you need to do is clean it and everything, and then put it, wash it, and then put it in a piece of cloth or something, wet it and put it inside, and then have it in a box which is airtight. So what happens? It just maintains the quality. So this has been there with me for last, I think, 4-5 days, if I'm not wrong, and you can see the quality of the mint is still very, very fresh. It is not turned black and everything. And that's the way to retain the quality of anything green, leafy and everything in your house. Airtight box, a cloth which is a little wet, and make it perfect. So I'm going to use this today for the drink. So I'm just going to keep it like that. I'll leave it here. So for a mojito, what all you need? First, you need nimbu, you need mint, you need sugar. So we have a sugar syrup. So this is all what we need. And you need rum. So we're going to use Bacardi. So it's a perfect rum to balance all these things up. Now, classically, a mojito is served with crushed ice in a tall glass, like that. I'm going to show you a little twist to it, so to make it a little fun. A lot of people are avoiding a lot of ice. I realized that because of a lot of things that are going around. So I'm going to do it a little differently today for you. So I'm going to use a jar and I'm going to show you how you're going to use it. Okay. So we use a jar. We're going to take a lime wedge. And for a mojito, you also use lime wedges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the whole lime, cut it, and squeeze the juice of this. How much? So I'll squeeze it so that I can tell you the measure as well. So that's half. Let's more juice to it. I'll not waste it. Perfect. So that's 20 ml of freshly squeezed lemon juice. That goes in. Now I'm going to add the sugar syrup that we made. So I'm going to add little bit more than what I did. So around 25 mils of sugar. Now the best way to identify whether it is right, taste it. If it is right taste, just sweet and sour, I think I'll add a little bit more sugar. I like things to be a little more sweeter in taste. It is my own personal preference. If you don't like it too sweet, you can reduce the amount of sugar. So there is lime, there is sugar. Now what I'm going to do is take mint leaves. So I'm going to take around 7-8 mint leaves like this and just give it a clap and drop it in. So there is mint, lime and sugar. Now what I'm going to do is add rum. So I'm going to add 60 mils. So this is a 50 ml package, so I've added 60 mils of this. So the whole idea was, if I do the same drink in a tall glass with lemon wedges and mint and muddle it with ice, it becomes a mojito. Now I'm not doing it in this, I'm doing it in a jar, and there's a reason for it, because I don't want too much ice in my drink. I put everything together, it's all ready. I need to think about a glass. I'm going to do it in a nice fancy coupe glass. I'll just add some ice to this and get my ice glass ready. So just to chill it, and now you put ice, you seal it nicely, and you shake. So you don't need a fancy shaker, you just use a jar to just take a cocktail for it. So now once you have done that, your glass is nicely chilled. What I'm going to do is strain it. Into a martini glass. Now you can take a nice big mint leaf like this and just drop it on top. Perfect. So what you have in your hand is a mojito, but I call it the sophisticated mojito. So this you can do it just like that, or you can add little splash of soda water to it. But what it does is, it gives you the same flavor of a mojito, which is mint, lemon, sugar and rum all coming together, but without any ice, and also just make it a little classier and a little easier. Well, a lot of time what happens is, when I work behind bar as well, a lot of time guests say that, oh, I want my mojito without ice. So that's something which is simple and easy to execute. You can make it at home. 20 ml of lime juice, 25 ml of sugar syrup, 60 ml of rum, shaken it nicely, pour into a martini glass. Perfect. Brilliant drink. Same drink in a tall glass with ice, and it's a mojito with then soda, splash of soda. Perfect. Now I'll move this here. So that's the mint. I'll use it for the other drink. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you another cocktail. The second drink is the very drink which is quite famous right now. It's a drink called old fashioned. Okay. Now old fashioned is a drink that has to be served in an old fashioned glass. So this is an old fashioned glass. So I just pull that out. Now everyone will be asking me this question, that you're going to make an old fashioned, how will I make it at home? I don't have bitters. Now what are bitters? Now I am lucky to have some bitters at home. For example, that's a fish oil bitter. I have a whole selection of bitters, which is the bitter tooth bitter, the whole selection of it. So I love collecting bitters, so I have a huge selection. But I'm sure while you are at home, you never thought of having a bottle of Angostura at home or something like that. Now what can you do to get out of the situation? I'm sure you have a bottle of whiskey lying with you, which can be, like for example, today I'm going to use a bottle of Dewar's, a Scotch whiskey. Classically, to make old fashioned, you use a bourbon whiskey, but we're going to use a Scotch. It gives you a nice smoky note. So what is that thing that you need to have to make an old fashioned? Is a bitter. You don't have it. So what I did was, I made our own bitter. So very simple and easy. How to make it? Obviously this is not exactly how a bitter should, but in these situations, I will not suggest you to go to any market and pick an bitter. So what I did was I had these tea bag, Earl Grey tea bag, very simple, easy. You can have anyone. You can have Darjeeling tea, you can have a masala tea, you can have anything. Take this. You all know when you overboil a tea, you put tea for a really long time, it has tannins, it makes it bitter. So that means that's bitter element to your thing. And also Earl Grey has its own flavor. So that's what I wanted to take. So I took spirit. So I took, in this case, I took rum because it's simple, easy, it's molasses based, it had a little sweetness into it. I took that and I stepped the tea bag into this. It has been lying in this for last 4 hours. So what has happened over the period of time, you can see it has turned dark red, dark color of the Earl Grey tea, and it also become very bitter because it's taken all the flavors from the tea. And that's what I wanted. I added a little sugar, like a 1 teaspoon sugar to it, because it will give the little sweetness to this, and all the bitters have a little sweetness to balance it up. It acts as like an enhancer for it. So I made my own Earl Grey tea bitter in-house without anything. Now you can make any that you have. You can make a Darjeeling tea bitter, you can make a masala tea bitter, whatever you have at home. So make your own bitter. You don't have to wait for buying an Angostura bitter. Masala tea bitters is really good. Why? Because it makes your old fashioned a masala tea old fashioned. It gives you a spicier note to your whiskey. Now to make this drink, very simple. You can make it in a mixing glass for bartenders. If you don't have it, you can just make it straight into an old fashioned glass. Now what I'm going to do is add all the ingredients. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to use a bar spoon to just put it. So normally when you're making a classic old fashioned, you take like Angostura bitters and you add around 3 to 4 dash of it. But this is not as strong as Angostura bitters, so I'll add around, so a bar spoon is 5 mils. So I'll add around 10 mils of this to give the flavor out of the bitterness of this. So that's the aim I want to get out. Then I'll add sugar. So again I'll use the bar spoon. So I'll use the same 10 ml of sugar syrup. So both are in this. Now I'll add the whiskey. So that's a 50 more pour of whiskey. Old fashioned is a spirit forward cocktail. It has alcohol all the way. So everything in this is alcohol apart from the sugar syrup and the ice that dilutes. So everything else is alcohol. Now I just taste it to see whether I get the flavors of Earl Grey and the little sweetness of sugar that I need. The sugar is fine, but I feel a little bit more of Earl Grey will be good for my drink. So I'm adding another bar spoon of Earl Grey. So all in this. Now what I'll do is I have a big block of ice. So I'm going to add this and then I'll stir. The whole idea of stirring with ice is very simple, that you want to make sure the drink is diluted to a right temperature. The main purpose of stirring it with ice. Because what happens is, if you serve it too strong to people because it has too much alcohol into it, what will happen? People will get a burnt flavor here. So when you put an ice cube into it, like a big cube into the ice, it will dilute slowly, but will make the drink cold and everything, and that's the main purpose. So once you have done this, taste it. I think the temperature has achieved, right? Tastes nice. Now for the garnish, I'll take an orange that I was smart to buy it, and I'll give a nice orange zest. So that's a peeler. So take a peel out and then just think. So it's been lying out for long, so it doesn't have much oils, but I can smell it here. You will not, because obviously a camera can't transport the aromas of it. So if you see this, it's a nice old fashioned with a block of ice into it. Perfect for enjoying the drinks. I'll sip it on your behalf. Perfect. Perfect for the day. So that's an old fashioned. Old fashioned with an in-house homemade bitter. Try it and see how it shapes up in your day. So that's another drink that I can just show you very easily. Bitter made in-house with Earl Grey tea bag. Now, I'm going to show you another drink which is all for gin lovers. There's a huge love for gin that has happened in recent times. Everyone is just going mad about gin across India. There are a lot of gin brands that have come into the country as well. Everyone has their own preference, and I personally believe you need to try all the gins before you decide which gin suits your taste requirements and everything. Because every gin has its own botanicals, and you might like one particular flavor profile, one particular taste profile of a gin to which suits your requirement. So try as much possible to find your need. One of the most famous combination of gin is a gin and tonic. Now, what is gin and tonic? How it is consumed? Gin was never invented for the purpose of drinking like an alcohol. It was invented by a doctor, and the purpose was they wanted to get the medicines into human body, and the medicines were the botanicals, especially the juniper berries. And that's where the whole idea and the journey of gin started. So gin is juniper. Juniper is the scientific name for juniper berries, and that's how the gin culture started in this world. So they took few juniper fruit botanicals, put it into alcohol, and suggested people that you should drink 60 ml every day. People said, okay, 60 ml, we'll drink the whole bottle every day. And that's how people started drinking it. The tonic water, which is consumed, the gin and tonic, was actually on the similar lines, because tonic is also tonic to your body. It has quinine. A lot of people are talking about it lately because of a lot of talks that whether this is the thing about the medicine and everything. But it is a medicinal thing. So your tonic water doesn't contain the original medicine. It has the artificial flavor which matches the flavor of quinine now. In original times, people used to put quinine into your tonic waters. Some tonic waters still put it, but they are prescribed, they are regulated by government, how much quantity and everything you can put. So tonic waters also proudly put Indian tonic waters, because originally many years back they were sourcing quinine from India. So gin and tonic is one of the most famous thing. I'm going to use I have this bottle, the Star of Bombay. This was a selection that Bombay Spire came up with. I'm going to use this. My wife really loves this, so I'll make this for her. She has 3 drinks to finish. I normally don't drink that much, so she will finish it for me. So I'm going to do a gin and tonic, but I'm going to show you a small little trick how you can make it more interesting and more fun for all your friends or people who will come to your house. Because sometimes you get bored of drinking the same thing and you want to have a little fun around it as well. So what I have is another tea bag lying at home, which is a peach chill. It's normally used for making iced teas. It's peach flavored tea or tisane that is there. So I'm going to use this to make something interesting into my gin and tonic. So what I'm going to do is use this in my gin. I'll try to pull the tag out if possible, otherwise I will leave it. Perfect. This is out. Leave it here. Now, before I do that, I'll make my garnish as well. So what I'm going to do is use the peeler and peel cucumber, like a long peel, like that. Perfect. So I'm going to just take it and stick it up. So if you see, it looks nice in the glass itself. Now, meanwhile, I'll try to do this. So there's a tea bag inside the glass. I'm going to take the Star of Bombay and take a 50 ml pour and put it in. It never stays up, it always goes in. It's fine. Okay, so gone in. Now what will happen if you see, the color of the gin will change very quickly. Now gin is, just like how hot water works for tea, gin or any alcohol also works exactly same. Now that's what exactly the idea is, that I want a little more flavor to my gin. I want to add a different character, and that the character is of tea, which is a peach flavor. So what I did was infuse it. So if you see, the color has changed completely. Now you can add any flavor of your preference. You can add, for example, masala tea, chamomile tea, green tea, or whatever you like. What is your preference? There's a tea called pea flower teas, which is purple in color. It is also something that people really like to add into it. So you can do that as well into your thing. So this will remain as the garnish. So if you see, there's nice infusion. Now I'll add a big block of ice and some small ice. You can add whatever you have. Beggars are not choosers. That's how I say it. So you have done that. Now I will add tonic water to finish it off. Perfect. And then on top, I'll get a nice mint sprig. So whenever you give a nice mint sprig, which is the top part of a mint, take it in your hand, and what you do is just hit it outside the glass, especially the stem as well. What it does is the oils from the mint leaves comes out and stick to the outside rim. Now, why it helps? When you hold it as a person, your hand will start smelling of mint, and even if you keep your drink out, you will still have a reminder that, oh, you had a drink, and you will keep thinking about it. Now, if you see from top, if you come closer, so you will see it looks really nice. There's a tea bag which gives you the freshness, there's cucumber, there's mint, and this is called a gin, tea and tonic. So there is tea into it, there is gin into it, and then there's tonic water. So simple, easy combination, but really refreshing one as well. So if I have to put this into a day format, that was my idea when I was thinking of these drinks. You start your day with gin, tea and tonic, because around 12 o'clock they should drink this. Around 4 o'clock, when the sunset is about to happen, that's your time of mojito, and a sophisticated mojito. Sit by the balcony, enjoy it. And in the evening, just before your dinner or even around your dinner, that's the old-fashioned time. So I have you sorted for your whole day, what you need to drink and everything, and then keep trying different twists. One day add mint to it, replace mint with coriander, and there's a new drink. Replace coriander with basil, you have another drink. And that's how you can create different cocktails. So this is how you can make different cocktails at home, very simple. For people who don't drink, very simple. You can do a lot of stuff, like for example with teas and tonics and everything without any alcohol. I keep posting videos on my Instagram page whenever you like. Follow it, it's called Mr. Bartender. That's what I call it, Mr. Bartender, not tender. That's where I post all the videos. I hope you all love this session. You all like the drinks that I put together. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If there is any question, Tanisha, you can tell me. Have people ask me questions. I hope it's not technical. I hate answering technical questions. If it's about who is gonna drink it, Tanisha is gonna drink it. She'll be drunk by the end of the day. I'm not getting food today. You can speak, don't worry. Say.
Guys, if you have any questions, please leave them out. We have about 10 minutes to answer any questions you have. So you've got 10 minutes.
Yeah. If you don't, that's a good thing as well. And that means you all are drunk by now. So, cocktail wise, sky's the limit. I didn't want it to complicate it too much. You can play around with tea. Other things that you can play around that you're lying in your house is things like spices. Spices makes really good drink. For example, the sugar syrup when you make in this, if you see the sugar syrup is nice crystalline. In this, when you are boiling the water, you can add any spice to it. Like for example, you can add cloves, you can add cardamom, you can add star anise, and you can make flavored sugar syrup. And then using the same, you can make different drinks. Make iced teas at home. Iced tea making is one of the most simplest and easiest process. Like boil tea water and just add lime juice, sugar syrup that I showed you, same ratio, and you have an iced tea. Another combination that works really good, it's a small cheat, is whiskey with an iced tea. You should try it. Whiskey with iced tea comes out really good combination, because I'm sure you all would have been stuck in your house for long, and we have long days ahead. So what you can do is just take whiskey, combine with tea, and drink it like a nice cocktail format. You can just have it whiskey and tea put together with a little sugar or something if you prefer, or you can just shake it to make it a little frothy. Any questions?
Okay, we have quick questions.
Yeah.
1 minute answers for everything.
Yeah.
How long do we keep the tea bag in?
Okay, perfect. So for bitter, keep it around 4 hours, because that will give all the flavors and everything, as well as the bitterness, give you that color. So keep it for 4 hours. for things like Earl Grey, Darjeeling, masala tea. But if you're doing something like chamomile or something, you might have to keep for long. The best way to check it out is taste. It also depends upon the temperature where you're keeping it. So put it and keep checking it. Make a chart. We all have a lot of time in our hand. So give it a check and then put a series out and see how it shapes up from there. For a gin and tea, you can remove it before. The reason I left it now, because it acts as a garnish. As soon as you add ice, the temperature of the liquid goes really down. Hence the infusion process stops. So if I would have left it in tea, the color would have turned into this. So that's the reason I put ice as soon as possible. If you don't want to do it then, infuse it for like 15 seconds and remove the tea bag, because otherwise it will be too dominating flavor.
Okay, a couple of questions on tonic waters. What is the best tonic water? Which is a really nice tonic water?
See, there tonic water, like as the gin world became quite big, tonic has become quite a big boom as well across the country. There are many that has come just within the boundaries of India. From north of India, there is Jade, there is Swami that has come from the west of India, there is Sepoy, there is Franklin and Sons, the list goes on. There is a lot of them. What I personally feel as well in tonic waters, you need to find what fits your requirement. A lot of people have their own taste profiles and their own requirement. Like there is one brand you will see behind me, okay? Old Monk. I have seen some of the people who are at the top level, they still drink Old Monk because they have developed a taste for it. Hence, what I will suggest is find which one suits you, your requirement. There are a lot of variants of tonic waters. Go and give it a try. Swami has a wide variety. Fever Tree, East Imperial has a lot of wide variety, which have different flavors in it, like a grapefruit tonic, a Burma tonic, or these things. Try those. It will add a different flavor to your gin and tonic as well. So you can try those.
Okay, we also have a number of people who missed some of the stories and want more stories.
Okay.
Let's see if we have time for that. Let me just check. Somebody asks, how do we learn bartending? Give us basic alcohol plus taste combos like vodka, orange, rum and lime.
Okay. So how to learn bartending? If you are really interested in the professional bartender or just like for fun, there are different things from that. If you want to just have knowledge about beverages and everything, there are a lot of platforms now which have gone open to public, like Bar Smart. There is one which is open to public, which is completely free. It used to be a cost that is attached to it. Now it's free. You can go it and try. There is very good information about whiskey, vodka, rum, gin. They have different modules which you can pass and get a certificate from there. It is done by Panu Ricard, which is a really good course. So that will give you a basic knowledge to do. As far as the bartending is required, making drinks, this all comes with when you get your hands dirty. This is not something you can sit and learn or remember the recipes from book. When you get behind a bar and do. So a lot of bars keep doing these fun activities. We together keep inviting people to come and do it. Once we open back, connect with us together, and we might plan a shift where you can come and bartend with us. So that's the whole idea. Combinations of spirit with things. White spirit, like for example vodka is a neutral spirit. It goes great with anything, like that's the reason it is made so. It is like water. You can add anything to water, it takes the flavor of it. When you talk about whiskies and rums, you need to think about what goes great. Whiskies goes great with like teas, spices, nuts and everything. They are like ginger ale and all this stuff. Same goes with rum. And then for example tequila and everything, anything citrusy, anything fruity, anything tropical, these all goes great with that as well. So you can try that.
Okay, I saw a small question in between, so I'm just going to repeat.
Yes.
The sugar syrup was made 1:1 ratio.
Yes.
That is 1 bowl of sugar, 1 bowl of hot water.
Same amount of hot water. You can do that, or you can increase the quantity of sugar. You can do 2:1. In that it becomes a little more thick, but you have to be very conscious about how much you are adding. In this, even you put 5 ml extra, you can manage it. But if you add little 5 ml extra in 2:1, which is 2 parts sugar, 1 part water, it might just make the drink too sweet. So for home purposes, make it 1:1. It makes life easy.
Okay, the last question that came up was, I don't drink liquor, can I learn bartending?
Yes, to be honest, this is the best. For example, there are a lot of professions in which You don't have to do exactly like, for example, I don't drink as well. That's why I said these will be consumed by my wife. I don't drink in my day-to-day life. I drink professionally. When I'm working and everything, I taste all the drinks. I don't enjoy drinking, going out and partying and getting drunk. But if I'm getting paid, I will drink. So you need to have that balance in your life, and that's what I always go about. If you don't drink, you need to have an understanding of flavors to actually get into mixing. So yes, you might have to taste, because if you're trying to make a cocktail, you can't imagine the flavor of something, then you can't mix it. So you might have to taste little vodka, little whiskey and everything, but you don't have to drink it, and still you can do a good job about it.
Okay, so this person's been asking for the mojito story.
Okay.
For 3 times now, so
okay,
let's repeat that and maybe take a wrap.
Do a quick story. Mojito story goes back to a person named Captain Drake. Captain Drake used to be a sailor in a ship, and he used to go for voyage, and his soldiers used to they used to carry a lot of rum, because they were based out of Caribbean islands, Cuba, where they were based out of. So they used to have rum, and Captain Drake's wife used to give him dehydrated lemon and mint when they used to travel, because it's really good when you have seasickness. So his soldiers, Captain Drake's soldier, used to cheat and tell that they have seasickness, because they wanted dried lemon, dried mint, and they used to get the quota of rum, mix them together and drink, and they used to call this drink El Drac, and that's how the drink El Drac was formed. This drink reached the shores, became famous, and they started making it with fresh mint, fresh lemon, and ice with good rum, and that's how a drink was born. So when you drink a mojito, the first sip you take, because it is so refreshing, it is cold, it is sweet, it's citrus, and normally when you drink a mojito, it is already too hot and too humid. So when you drink it, the reaction is like, this is so good, this is so good, you feel so fresh. And people started saying the drink is magical. There's a mojo. Mojo means in Spanish means cast or spell, and mojo gave birth to the word mojito, and that's the story behind mojito as a drink, not mojito.
Someone has asked, how about adding coffee instead of tea for the bitters?
Yes, so coffee bitters comes out really good. You can always do that. Coffee old fashioned is one of the best drinks as well. I call it old fashioned, not old fashioned. So I just add C in front of it. You can do that. If you have coffee beans, it works great. Even if you have coffee powder, you just dissolve it, kind of a thing. It comes out really good, because coffee itself has bitterness and also has the right flavor of it. Make sure you add a little sugar to it, balance it up. If you have honey or like a brown sugar, it goes great with it. So you can always try that. It comes out really good.
Do we have time for some more questions, or?
One more, I think so.
Okay. Any suggestions for cocktail with Jägermeister?
Cocktail with Jägermeister. You can see something simple that you can do with Jäger. Jäger Sar. It's one drink that I did it in Raspberry Renaissance. I did opened a bar in Bombay. It was a Jaeger event. Jaeger people can talk about it. It was one of the most craziest events that they have ever done. And we did Jaeger Sar, Jägermeister, lime juice, sugar syrup, and we put in that we added egg white. So SARs are classically made with egg white. If you don't want to put egg white, don't do it. So just like this, without mint leaves. So what we made first, the mojito style drink. So lime juice around 20 ml. Sugar you put less. Why? Because Jägermeister is sweet itself. So you put around 15 ml and 60 ml of Jaeger. Shake it really nice. If you have egg white, put like half egg white thing in it. Shake it really nice. Pour into a glass. This drink comes out really good. I personally prefer Jaeger to be consumed as a drink, just like slower sipping things, and the cocktails comes out really nice out of it.
Okay, we have one that might have a very interesting story. Red wine plus Coke. Is it a good combination?
Yeah, red wine and Coke is becoming quite famous, especially in Spanish countries. If I'm not wrong, Spain and everyone, they're drinking a lot of red wine and Coke, and it's weird. That's why it's good. I think that's the whole idea behind it. There are a lot of weird combination that goes really crazy, like hot dog and bubbles. Champagne and hot dog. It's also a great combination. It goes really cool as together. Together we inspired from the same and made a drink. We made our own vermouth in fortified wine in house, and made our own not cola, but we made lemonade kind of a thing in house, and we mixed them together and made a similar style drink. But yes, red wine and cola goes good, but it also depends upon which red wine you're using. If you use a very dry red wine, it might not come out that great because it will not be a great combination. But if you're using that, you can add like a orange wedge or something, squeeze it, drop it in, put ice and put a cola. It might turn out really good.
Okay, so I think we're almost coming to the end of the live session. Thank you everybody for joining us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you everyone. Thanks a lot. We have 3 drinks here. I would have loved to invite you over and finish these 3 drinks for me. Unfortunately, we can't. Be home, be safe, keep mixing, keep trying. You can reach out to me on Mr. Bartrend. That's my page on Instagram. Connect with me if you need any help in regards to drinks. I'm sitting at home, not making much drinks. So you can connect with me and tell me what help I can be of in regards to drink. I post cocktail videos pretty much every alternate days, and I post a bartending video every day. So like alternate days I keep doing the fun stuff. So I'm sure you will get some nice information there. The restaurant bar where I take what I run is together at 12. So once we are all in normal phases, we'll come together at together. So we'll see you there. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Say bye. Say bye.